There are words we utter almost without thinking, quiet, casual, seemingly harmless. But those words, once spoken, do not disappear. They settle deep into the soil of the soul, like seeds of decay. They shape how we see the world, how we see ourselves, and sometimes they become the invisible chains that hold us back from greatness. The Stoics understood that language is not just a means of expression, it is a force. Words can be walls or windows, cages or wings. The greatest battles we fight are often not with the world, but with the voices we repeat inside our own minds. Here are 10 phrases that quietly, subtly, and inevitably destroy your success. Banish them. Replace them. Speak with integrity, like a philosopher. Live with clarity, like a warrior. 1. That's impossible. Nothing is impossible, only unattempted. Everything that now exists once lived only in the realm of the unimaginable. The airplane, the moon landing, the healing of deep trauma, the building of a meaningful life. All these were once dismissed as fantasy. But someone, somewhere, refused to accept the limits. When you say it's impossible, you are not stating a fact. You are exposing a belief that your effort is worthless, a belief that the future is fixed, a belief that your reach will always be shorter than your vision. But the Stoic says, obstacles are the path, and the path is mine to walk. There is no shame in falling short. The shame lies in never trying. 2. I just had bad luck. Luck is the comfort of the undisciplined. It is the refuge of those who fear responsibility. Seneca reminded us, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You weren't unlucky. You were either unready or unaware. Or perhaps the lesson was more important than the prize. The Stoic does not blame the dice for how they fall. He learns to play regardless. Adversity is not misfortune. It is training. Stop saying you're unlucky. Start asking, what can I control in this situation? What lesson hides here? That is where power begins. 3. I'm too old. I'm too young. Time does not define you. Character does. Age is not a verdict. It's a condition. It says how long you've breathed, not how deeply you've lived. You are not too young to start. You are not too old to change. Cato stood tall in the Roman Senate well into his 60s. Socrates didn't become a teacher of men until his 40s. You are not your date of birth. You are your daily choices. Every sunrise is permission to become something greater. Say instead, today I grow. Today I build. Today I live as though the clock is my companion, not my enemy. 4. I'm not like them. Comparison is a thief wearing the mask of humility. It tells you they're different. You'll never be like them. But behind those words is poison, envy, fear, excuse. You don't need to be them. You don't need to surpass them. You need only to surpass who you were yesterday. The Stoic doesn't look sideways. He looks inward. Not, how do I measure up? But what kind of person am I becoming? You are not meant to be a shadow of another. You are meant to be the full weight of your own soul. 5. It's too hard. Good. Let it be hard. Difficulty is the furnace that tempers the sword. The Stoic does not seek ease. He seeks strength. Marcus Aurelius woke each day reminding himself that suffering, insult, betrayal, all these things would meet him, but that his inner citadel must remain unshaken. You say, it's too hard. But what you mean is, I don't want to be uncomfortable. Hard is not the enemy. Hard is the signal you're growing. Say instead, let this challenge mold me. Let it sharpen me. Let it teach me what I'm made of. 6. What if I fail? Fear of failure is fear of learning. It is a subtle rejection of reality itself. What if I fail? Then you fail. You learn. You rise. You go again. The Stoic does not fear falling. He fears standing still. Seneca reminds us, "He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man." And so too, he who fears failure will never taste the full depth of success. Dare, not because you are sure of victory, but because you refuse to live a life ruled by doubt. 7. That's not my responsibility. This is how the soul begins to shrink. This is how greatness slips through our fingers, by looking the other way. Responsibility is not always fair. It is not always comfortable, but it is the weight that builds strength. You may not be the cause, but you can be the answer. You may not be to blame, but you can be the change. The Stoic says, "If it is within my power to help, then it is within my duty to act." Responsibility is not a burden. It is a badge of character. 8. That's just who I am. This phrase is the anthem of stagnation. It says, "I have stopped becoming. I have accepted this as the end of me." But the Stoic knows character is not cement. It is clay. You are being sculpted with every habit, every choice, every thought you allow. To live is to change, said Epictetus, and to grow is to honor the divine spark within you. Say instead, "I am not fixed, I am becoming, and I choose who I become." 9. I don't deserve this. Stop asking permission to exist. Stop waiting for the world to crown you worthy. You were born with value. Now live with integrity. Let your actions reflect your worth. Deserving something is not a matter of perfect morality. It's a matter of inner alignment. Are you striving? Are you sincere? Are you honest with yourself? Then you deserve every chance, every lesson, every sunrise. The Stoic does not grovel for validation. He simply acts in accordance with nature and reason. And that is enough. 10. It's too late. Too late for what? For living? For choosing? For building a life of meaning? It is only too late when breath has left your body. Until then, time is not your enemy. Regret is. Many great minds began their true work when others were preparing to rest. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, began his journey after losing everything in a shipwreck. It is never too late to begin again. It is never too late to write a different ending. The only thing that is truly too late is the thing you never begin. Final reflection. Words are more than noise. They are spells we cast on our own destiny. Speak with care. Speak with courage. The Stoic walks through fire, not because he enjoys the burn, but because he understands. Within fire is the rebirth of strength. So choose your words like a sculptor chooses his chisel. Not to flatter, not to deceive, but to carve truth into the stone of time. Never say these 10 phrases again, and watch how the world changes, because you did.